Welcome to our channel where we talk about plant-based eating for busy people. Today in this video we're going to talk about ways to eat more beans by making chickpea salad that you can have in chickpea salad sandwiches or eat in other ways. I am going to be tending grandkids for the next few days, so it's always good for me to have, a nice stash of foods that are good for me so that I won't be as tempted by what the grandkids tend to eat. So this particular recipe is based on the forks over knives version of no tuna salad, but we have made some changes to it to more suit our tastes, and hopefully you will like this version. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this. I have some chickpeas here, and with the chickpeas, it's just any old brand, and I have rinsed them and just sat them there to drain for a bit. And I'm just going to throw those in a food processor. So a lot of the recipes call for, mashing them up with a fork or something like that. But not only is that kind of more work than I like, I know, I'm lazy, but it also isn't the consistency that I like. I like to have these uniformly shredded kind of, so that they have the consistency of like tuna or shredded chicken. So I'm just going to use the food processor here. Mine's just a Cuisinart. I like it. It's not anything fancy, but it does a lot of work for us. So I'm going to pulse that to start. And I'll put it on low for just a few seconds. Now, I don't want to overdo it, so you can see kind of what that looks like. We're close. I'm going to pulse it a couple more times. And then you can see that this is kind of the consistency that we're going to want there. So we'll go ahead and put that in our bowl. Whew. It's a little clumsy because I'm trying to film and do it at the same time. Okay, so that just is perfect. That is the base, and it's the perfect consistency, and it only took us seconds. So for our add-ins, as I mentioned, this is loosely based on the forks over knives recipe for no tuna salad sandwich, but their recipe calls for capers, which, ew, I don't know why anyone would ever put capers in anything. That's just me. So we eliminated that, and also the Dijon mustard. I'm not a Dijon mustard fan. I do like plain mustard, so that's the kind we're going to be using. But let's go ahead and put in our vegetables. So I typically don't measure the vegetables when I'm making this, but I did for the purposes of this video. I have some friends who get mad if the measurements aren't precise, even though a lot of us don't cook that way, right? So anyway, it calls for, I am doubling the recipe as per usual because I want this to last for a while. So I did use 2 cans of the chickpeas, and then I have a half a cup of celery, a half a cup of onion, and I'm going to want a half a cup of pickles. And I just wanted to show you, I just usually take the hamburger dill chips, and they're just easy to chop up from the sliced. They're usually the least expensive of your pickle options. And so this for me is the easiest way to get the pickles in there. And in my opinion, the pickles are by far the most important ingredient in this dish. So here we have our half cup of pickles. And honestly, I'm looking at that and thinking, since I am used to eyeballing it, pretty sure I'm going to add more celery and more pickles when we're done here. Because I really like the crunch of the celery, and then I love, love, love the taste of the pickles. So let's go ahead and mix that up so we can just see the proportions here. And when you're trying to eat more beans, this recipe is magic because it is so delicious and you can serve it so many different ways. Obviously, a typical way to serve it is on a piece of toast or as a sandwich. We like the Dave's Killer Bread for that. But you can have it with crackers. If you've tried Mary's Gone crackers, those are the best, and very whole food, plant-based, compliant, and absolutely delicious. Or I like to wrap it up in a lettuce leaf, a romaine lettuce leaf, and eat it that way. Or you can eat it out of a bowl just as a salad, which is also delicious. So then there's, I'm sure, a million other things that you can do as well. Now, another way that we vary from the forks over knives recipe is I do use plant-based mayo. And that is just, I tried the tahini and didn't like it. And so all of the goodness that comes in this is just a few tablespoons. It's actually a third of a cup. And I usually just use that plant-based mayo. It does have oil in it, but I think it's the lesser of the evils, and you can see that in relation to how much salad there is, there's not that much mayo. So I don't worry about that too much. And it helps me get a lot of goodness in my body. And then it calls for a couple of teaspoons of mustard, and we'll just go ahead and eyeball that. So maybe there's one and maybe two. As I said, I really do like the mustard. And then we're going to go ahead and also add a couple tablespoons of maple syrup, which is adds a really fun flavor. And there's not too much of that. And then one of the possible add-ins is sunflower seeds, and we've discovered we really do actually like that. So a little bit of extra seed nutrients there, which is really nice. And I'll go ahead and mix that up. And then we have one, the recipe, the Forks Over Knives recipe calls for salt and pepper, a pinch, a nice healthy pinch of salt and pepper. Sorry, I'm such a messy cook. But we have a secret ingredient that we adore that really puts this over the top in flavor. So you can see, just really quick, I want to show you that the mayo just there isn't that much of it, just so you can see the ratio there. I'll try to get a little closer. So that is, it's not too bad at all, but it really is satisfying, that amount. Again, I'm sorry for the mess I'm making. So here is our secret ingredient. This is one of our Thrive seasonings. It's the Chef's Choice All-Purpose Blend. This has been a favorite of ours for years, and most of our friends who have it adore it. It is good stuff, and we use it in everything from soups to something like this. Wow. It is just, I don't know what it does, but it brings the flavors out so well. Even just now, just smelling it, just kind of making my mouth water, to be honest. So anyway, there we go. That is our chickpea salad. And we are going to go ahead and enjoy that. Okie dokie. Here it is. I've put it on. I've toasted some Dave's Killer bread, which is really yummy because it's all seedy. And then hopefully you can see the consistency of that. And all the good veggies in there. So usually I don't eat this in front of people because it's pretty messy as much as I like to pile on. Perfect.